All right, welcome to today's class on listings and landing pages with KW Command. My name is Leah with Scott Leroy Marketing. In today's class, I'll be taking you through how to access your listings in Command in the KWLS 2.0, and then how to use that listing information to create a landing page to feature your listing, whether that just sold, it's just listed, maybe you have an open house coming up. I'm going to show you how you can utilize landing pages to capture leads from those kind of events. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is actually log into Command. So if you can join me, I'm going to agent.kw.com to log into Command. Okay, so again, the command login will be agent.kw.com. And I always remember that like it's the agent login for kw.com. So agent.kw.com. And that should either automatically log you in or take you to the login screen you're seeing here. So go ahead and put in your username and password. That will be the same username and password as used for your MyKW account, same login as for your Kelly apps. They're trying to streamline all the passwords, thank goodness. So go ahead and enter that in and click sign in. If you have any trouble with your password, first of all, I feel you. I have about 9 million passwords as well. So you can't always click forgot password right here, or of course, shoot us an email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. Just let us know you're having trouble getting into Command. And we just need your Command username in order to help reset that password right away. All right, if you're still working on logging into Command, no worries, take your time. We are going to start with just a tad amount of housekeeping. All right, we do need to check our Command marketing profile to make sure that is properly set up, as that will autofill all of your contact information onto landing pages. All right, so if you can follow me, and you can also note where this sits, I would recommend taking note. There's 4 steps to get to that Command marketing profile. So first step is clicking on your name on the very top right of Command. And then settings from that drop down. And I'll go over these steps multiple times here if you're trying to write this down. All right, so far we have clicked on our name on the top right of Command, and then settings from that drop down. Then on the left-hand side, we're clicking connect settings. For that final step, you'll see that marketing profile. All right, I'm going to say that one more time in case I lost anyone, or if you want to jot that down. But real quick, to tell you why this is so important to jot down, anything from your Command marketing profile, like your headshot, your phone number, email address, etc., this will all autofill onto literally any marketing material you create in Command. So landing pages, which we're looking at today, but also your Command IDX website, your mobile app, any smart plans that go out, Facebook ads, you name it. All right, so we do really want to make sure that your contact information is correct here. And if you ever get a new email or a new headshot and you need to update that, you can now come to the Command marketing profile to update that in one spot, and it updates it pretty much everywhere for you. So great to have in your notes how to get here. Just real quick to tell you those again. Step 1, click on my name on the top right of Command. Step 2, we're clicking on settings. Step 2, settings. Step 3, connect settings on the left-hand side. And final step 4 for that marketing profile. All right. So if you can go ahead and scroll down to take a look at all of your information here to make sure this is all correct. All right. You can update anything by simply clicking to delete. All right, if this is completely blank for you, we're more than happy to set this up for you. So just in case this is blank for you, I'm putting in the chat a link that you can fill out after class that will have us set up your Command marketing profile for you and also set up your Command IDX website. So that's in the chat. If you want to go ahead and grab that link for after class, it would prompt us again to set up your Command marketing profile and your Command IDX website. But in the very least, if you could please just scroll through to ensure everything looks correct. Right, and notice that near the bottom, you can even add in things like your social media options, Google Analytics ID, and any questions you have on this section, feel free to shoot us an email. So if you're not sure if that's something you need set up, shoot us an email, support@scottlavorymarketing.com, and we can help you with that. A great question in the chat, and that is how to remove the team logo. Unfortunately, there's actually not a way to remove the team logo at this time. However, our workaround is we can replace it with the realtor logo. So if you want to shoot us an email, again, that's support@scottlavorymarketing.com. We'd be happy to change that out for you, and we can add the realtor logo so it'll brand you as a realtor instead. That's the best workaround we've found for that. And make sure you click save on the very bottom, especially if you made any changes. And you'll see that confirmation that we did save correctly. All right, and we are actually going to hop over to the listing section of KW Command. But before I do that, I do want to send out notes. So I'm going to put in the chat, sorry, multitasking. I put in the chat these notes, and I'll just pull that over so you can see what I put in the chat there. So this is the listings and landing pages notes. And again, it's in the chat. If you're watching this recorded, I will drop these notes in the description of the YouTube video below. But just a heads up, I do have the option to watch the recording of this class. It's usually up within a couple hours after class, up to 24 hours is a big file. But so after class, or if you need to leave early, just know that on the notes right here, I will provide the recording as soon as that's updated. And again, shouldn't be more than 24 hours, definitely. Outside of that, I'm going to move this to my other screen, and I'm going to take you through these items on here. So far, what we've done is we've talked about our recorded training classes, how to find those, right? slmtraining.com. And lastly, our command marketing profile, right? We just went over how to get to that. So now we are hopping onto listings in command. So I will be talking about these items under here, but I just wanted to let you know that I'll be following these notes. If you want this after class, those notes will give you extra tip videos as well to help teach you additional items, and I'll keep referencing those. All right, so on the left-hand side of command, we do have that command menu, and we're going to want to click on the listings icon, which is the second to the bottom icon. It looks like a listing sign. And just a quick tip on this command menu over here, once this loads. All right, so if you're working on learning the navigation around command, my biggest recommendation is actually just clicking this KW logo on the top left. Just a quick note that will pan out the menu, so you can start to learn what each icon means, right? You can start to learn the navigation. So again, if you're newer to command, the best thing you can do is really go down this menu and just click on each item and see where it goes, see where you have access to, what opportunities you have to implement in your business. You know, try to have fun with it. I say that, but when I learn new technology, my blood pressure shoots to the roof, so I feel you. But try to have fun with it. Grab some wine this weekend, a box of beer, put your feet up and just click through command. Any questions you run into, we either have tutorials or are happy to answer that via support@scottlavorymarketing.com. All right, so just my little tidbit on learning command. This menu is your best friend here to just click through to start to learn what you have access to. All right, so in this listing section of KW command, again, that's the second to bottom option, and that will look like a listing sign. That'll take you directly over to my KWLS. So if you have any listings available, they should show right here. Now, if they are not, if you are getting this error that there are no listings associated to your account, all right, that's something KWRI is working on, is just central grouping all of your listings right under here. If you're not seeing your listings, I'm going to tell you how you can work on getting those added here. So hang tight to that question. I will address that shortly here. All right, but if you are not seeing your listings under my KWLS, that does not at all mean that your listings are not in command. All right, so if instead you can click on the listing search option on the top white toolbar. If your browser asks to know your location, I know it's a little creepy, but if you can go ahead and allow it, that'll pull up listings in your area. Okay, so depending on your browser settings, it may ask to know your location. Go ahead and allow that, and it takes a couple seconds, and then listings should display. Now, how listings get into command is that they will automatically pull over from the MLS within less than 24 hours of them going active. So we usually see that anywhere from about 3 to 12 hours, if not less, that once your listing goes live in the MLS, it will automatically pull over to command. Now, what I mean by it'll automatically pull up in command is, first of all, you'll be able to see it under this listing search right here, so we can search for that. But it will also automatically show up searchable on your Command IDX website, on your mobile app, any smart plans, if you create any listing material, so that you can go ahead and pull, you know, all the data, the listing data from the MLS onto your marketing piece. So again, within about 12 hours or less, that listing will come over from the MLS as long as it's active. Okay, and that will be automatically searchable to your client, so you do not have to do anything to get your websites, to get your listings to be searchable on your website or mobile app. That will automatically happen as it is connected to your MLS. So no IDX feed is required, right? If you have questions on that, let me know. But this property search here, and just to clarify that is all listings will be searchable on your site that are active on any MLS across the entire US and parts of Canada. So that's a pretty cool feature. That's a newer thing with these Command IDX sites, that again, no matter which brokerage, it doesn't have to be a KW listing. Literally every listing, as long as it's live in the MLS, is searchable on your website, your mobile app, and so forth for your clients. So pretty nifty there. So you can go ahead and search, especially if you're not seeing your listings under My KWLS. You can go ahead and search by either the property address or the MLS number here. I usually recommend the MLS number, just it cuts to the chase, and it makes so you can pull that up a little quicker. So again, you can search here, and this is under listing search, just to make sure that your listing is available in command, and that will allow you to again, create marketing materials and make sure that that's displaying on your website. Now, with that being said, if you are unable to find your listing, okay, so if you are doing the listing search here, so specifically where I am is the listings icon on the left-hand side command menu, and then listing search. Okay, this is a great way to double check that your listing is in command and searchable on your site. Go ahead and do a quick search here. And again, I recommend the MLS number if you have that handy, to make sure your listing pops up in command. And we see that working 9.5 times out of 10. So your listing should come over. That does seem to be very consistent, the feature, which is wonderful. However, if you do not see your listing in command, right? So you went to the listing search, you searched, it's not there. Shoot us an email, first of all. We can help, search, double check that it's not in there. So you can shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. However, if that is not at all in here, or you want all of your listings to show up under the My KWLS option, okay, let me show you how you would contact KWRI to get those added in here, just real quick. And I'll put this in the chat too. So in case you're wanting all of your listings to be grouped under My KWLS, Keller Williams International can push that through on their back end to help group that for you. So to do that, to report that to KWRI, you can click on the question mark on the very top right of command. Yes, MLS will automatically publish your listings over to command within about 12 hours of being active on the MLS. However, again, if you are not seeing your listing display, or those are not under My KWLS, like mine, and you want that to display there, right, you can click on the question mark on the very top right of command. I don't have this on the notes, so if you want to jot this down. Wait, I do. I do have this on the notes. Okay. So just a heads up, these are on the notes as well. If you are unable to find your listing in command, or it's not showing under My KWLS, click here for steps to contact KWRI to push that through. So it is on the notes, just a heads up, you don't have to write this down. But just to show you real quick, best way to contact KWRI is clicking the question mark on the very top right of command. Then we have a chat with support option here. And that'll actually bring you to this chat box. If you wait just a second, it will give you an option to get in touch like this. So you can either live chat or leave a message. And I'm putting in the chat what you need in order to report that, you need your listings all under my KWLS. So you would need to send them the MLS number of the property, address of the property, your agent MLS ID, and the MLS board. So I just put that in the chat, and that's only if you want to go ahead and group your listings under my KWLS. That's how you can contact KWRI to get those grouped for you. Okay, that shouldn't be too big of an inconvenience, though. I'll show you how to navigate, create landing pages without that feature. All right, so it's time for it. Let's go ahead and jump over to landing pages to start getting that set up. So if you could follow me, I'm clicking on the consumer icon, which will be the very bottom icon on the command menu. So consumer icon, very bottom icon on your command menu. In this consumer section here, that is intended to edit any of your consumer tools. So what I mean by consumer tools is tools that are for your clients. So this is where you go to edit your website, any landing pages, and also the app settings. All right, so we're going to focus on landing pages today. So you'll see that at the top here. You can click on landing pages, and that would show you if you have any landing pages currently set up. If you don't, well, that's normal. That's why you're here today. All right, so landing pages right here. All right, so what we need to do to create a new landing page is to click create a new page on the very top right. So create a page on the top right. And then just in case I lost anyone, we clicked on the consumer tab on the left-hand side of command, the very bottom icon, and click create a new page. All right, on here, this is where we need to change that to as a landing page. So that top option is talking about on your creating a custom page on your command IDX website. We're actually going to focus on creating landing pages. And let's talk about what a landing page is before we create that. Okay, so a landing page, and you might have heard that referred to as a squeeze page or a funnel page, I believe I've heard as well. So the idea of a landing page is you are creating a single a single page website intended to capture leads. So the idea behind it is you want to offer your client something of value in return for their contact information. I don't know about you, but if I go on the internet and a contact form pops up where it wants me to put in my email and phone number, I do everything in my power not to give that information because I don't want to be spammed. I get enough emails, right? So a landing page, the idea, I'll show you how to target this, is to trade something of value for their contact information. So whether that be a free CMA on their home for their contact information, would you like a private showing on this home in return for your contact information? Would you like a 10% off coupon in return for your contact information? So that's the idea here, and I'll show you how we can help implement that. The landing page is a single page website intended to capture leads. So again, make sure you clicked on that as a landing page option and click create page. And these steps are on the notes as well, just a heads up. On the notes, it's the third set of instructions down if you're looking at that for creating a just listed or just sold landing page. That's what we're going to kick off here. All right, first thing that we need to do, because I forget every time, is let's go ahead and rename our landing page on the top left. All right, so before we do anything else, Let's go ahead and rename that on the top left. I'm going to do a just listed page for you guys. You can do a just sold page. That'll be the same concept here. But if you'd like to practice, let's do just listed, and you can do, 123 Main Street. Whatever you'd like to name this, only you will see this name on the very top left here. All right, so as we come on down here, I do see on the right-hand side that we have a bunch of widgets. So you'll see these widgets on the right-hand side, and these widgets will be your best friend because it makes editing these landing pages super easy. So we have the widgets on the right-hand side, and then the center, we have a blank page. So what we're going to do is actually just drag and drop these widgets over to help create the landing page template. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to grab the branded header. So here's the branded header. So I'm going to click and hold my mouse to drag that over. All right, so on branded header, let's click and hold your mouse to drag that over to the blank page on the left-hand side, and then release your mouse. And that will lay the widget down. Now, don't worry too much about what the widget shows on here quite yet. We will actually be going back to configure these or edit these. So for example, like I want dashes between my phone number. We're going to edit that. So don't worry about that quite yet. We're just working on creating the layout. All right, so now on the right-hand side, let's go ahead. Now I'm creating a just listed or a just sold landing page. Okay, so I'm going to grab the listing widget on the right-hand side here. To again, pull that over. So I click and hold my mouse to then drag that over to this white page. And you'll notice this time, right, that green bar that's displaying there, just a heads up, that is showing you where you're dropping this widget. So do you want it above the other widget you dropped or below it? In this case, I want it below. So I'll make sure that green line lines up and go ahead and release my mouse to drop the widget. Now, again, I know this isn't your listing. You wish it was, I'm sure, or I wish it was my home for that matter. However, I'll show you in just a second here. We're going to go ahead and change out the listing, and it will automatically pull over all the listing data from the MLS to update all of this. So right now you're just seeing the template, the general layout of how it'll look. All right, and it looks very nice in my opinion. I love the listing widget. All right, and the last thing you have to add for a listing landing page or just sold page, my recommendation is always go ahead and add the lead form. Okay, this lead form, anytime you're creating a landing page, add a lead form or they won't be able to contact you from the landing page itself. So again, lead form, I'm just clicking, holding, dragging my mouse to the left-hand side, and then release your mouse whenever you have that laid. Okay, so again, you'll want to go ahead and add that lead form to every landing page you create so they can go ahead and contact you directly from this landing page. And any leads that are captured will go directly to your command database. And I'll show you guys after we create a couple landing pages here how to also view your leads that you're capturing from landing pages as well. All right, but again, the three main widgets that I used was that branded header for that top one. Then we have this listings widget and the lead form. Now, as you can see, there's a couple more widgets on here. So I'm going to add a couple more just so I can show you what they do. You do not have to add those to your listing landing page. This would be complete enough. However, if you'd like to play with some of the other widgets, feel free to add those as well. I'm just going to show you again what they look like so you can decide if you want to use them for future landing pages. And we're going to go back and edit these widgets, guys. Don't worry about that. So if your branded header is not showing up so great, don't worry. We're going to be able to edit that to a certain extent. All right. We just don't edit it until we lay all the widgets. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to add in two more, maybe three more widgets, again, just to show you guys what it looks like. Don't feel obligated to add that as well. But I'm going to add the Market Snap. All right, and this Market Snap widget. Again, hopefully you guys are getting comfortable adding widgets. It's just as simple as clicking and holding, dragging to this side, and go ahead and lay that widget where you'd like it. So I want that on the bottom of the page. And what that Market Snap widget does is this will update to the neighborhood that your listing is in. We're going to update that, and it'll show all the neighborhood stats from that neighborhood. So the clients can get an idea of what that neighborhood looks like where that listing is live in. Right. There is also a video widget, which is newer. I'd say it launched this year maybe. So I'm going to add that as well in case you have a virtual tour. I want to show you guys how to add that in. So I'm going to add in that video widget, clicking, holding the widget, dragging it to the left-hand side to release. Okay, and very last widget I'm adding is this agent branding. So the agent branding will just essentially put your branding on the very bottom as well, which I like, so that no matter where they are on the landing page, they can see your contact information. So this one was the agent branding that I usually put on the bottom. All right, so now that I have laid the widgets out, right, so we've created the template of the landing page. This is what the template will look like. Let's go ahead and configure those widgets to customize them. Now, before I continue to that, I just want to point out, right, we've been messing with the widgets solely here. I want to point out there are content blocks as well on the right-hand side. So you'll notice you can lay individual images and text boxes. So especially if you have a coming soon listing, coming soon listings will not generally pull over from the MLS. Or if you have, a listing that's not going on the MLS, you can add in an image and a text box to manually add in this information as well, if you can't find that with the listing widget. Jane, good question. Do we have to create a landing page for a Facebook ad? You do not have to create a landing page for a Facebook ad. However, it's highly recommended. So if you are working on launching a Facebook ad, generally a landing page is where you'll want to route them after the Facebook lead gen form. Okay, and if you have any questions on that, I do have actually a tip video. It might be on the notes, I'll check, on Facebook ads and adding that. Yes, I do. So just a heads up. Again, I just put these notes in the chat again, but what we're going over right here is this section. But also for creating Facebook ads in Command, I did include a little video here that you can watch after this class, and I'll show you how to use your landing pages on Facebook ads. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're going to have to click configure widget. So you'll notice that the publish page option on the top right is grayed out, and it won't let you click it until you click configure widgets. Okay, so that's a big thing to note. Anytime that after you add your widgets in, you won't be able to save it until you click configure widgets on the very bottom right. So configure widgets. And now that you might be looking at a specific widget right now, in case you are. So if you're looking at a specific widget, you can click the back button. So I'm all focusing on this right-hand side column here. So this back button on the very top right, to the left of where it says the widget name, that will take me back to view all of my different widgets. So I can see which ones I need to complete in order to publish the page. So any ones without a green check mark, I have to complete in order to publish the page. However, I'm going to go through all of them to make sure they're set up correctly and show you guys how you would configure those. All right, so from this list, I'm clicking on that very top option. So my branded header, which you guys most likely have as well. For the branded header, I'm going to put in a header text. So I'm going to put in, let's say, proudly presenting 123 Main Street. Now, the only downfall of this header text up here is it's pretty concise, pretty short. It's only 30 characters, and that is so that it doesn't overlap any of your other information, especially like on a mobile view. However, so you can play around with that to see what you want it to say. However, as soon as you add that header text in, you can always click Save and Apply on the bottom, and that will show you what you've added in right away. So if you are not a fan of that, you can simply edit that again, click Save and Apply, and it will update that in real time. So you can see on the right-hand side, so I know these widgets are not overly customizable. So the general layout is, it kind of is what it is. There's no updating the color of the background or the font. However, you'll see on the right-hand side the items that you can edit. So items like your phone number, this should all be pulling over from your command marketing profile, right, where we started class. So you shouldn't have to update too much, but I would eye over this to make sure all looks good. Click save and apply on the very bottom. And then we can go to the next widget. So one down, a few more to go. So on the very top here, right, you'll always see on the top your branded header, or I'm sorry, you always see on the top the widget name. So in this case, the branded header is the widget name. And then you'll see which widget you're on. In this case, this is 1 of 6 on my landing page. So I'm going to click the arrow to the right of that to go to the next widget. And that will be to edit my listing. All right, so now to replace this with your listing, we'll go ahead and click Browse Listings. And that will pull out the KWLS 2.0. So this is very similar to what we were looking at with the listing section of command, right? That is all integrated here. So what we can do here is either search by your property address or MLS number. So property address or MLS number here. You can go ahead and search for that property. And once you've located that, you can click select to the right of that property. All right, so again, I clicked on select to the right of that property. Try to find one that has multiple images. There we go. So again, I click select next to my listing, and that will pull the listing in. And it will give you the option to select which image you would like to be this main header image. So all images will pull from the MLS directly, and those will be scrollable. That's a word. This will be scrollable right here. So you'll be able to scroll through the images from the MLS. However, we need to pick a top image to display. So generally like the outside of the home, or, you know, if there's a beautiful pool in the backyard, like this one, maybe you want to include that one instead. So simply click on which image you would like. Of course, you can add a custom image and click save and apply. Once you do that, you'll see it loads for a second, and then it updates that listing information. So it updated the photo, all the information about the listing, beds and baths, wherever the property description, and so forth, and the map. So all pulled over from the MLS, pretty nifty. Sasha, to answer your question, the app says null as location. Is that showing null for your location as the agent, or is that showing null for the property location? Either way, Sasha, if you can go ahead and email us support@scottleroymarketing.com with a screenshot of that, we can help report that to KWRI to help and further troubleshoot it. So Sasha, I'm putting our email in the chat so we can help you with that. All right. So again, if you found that listing, make sure you click save and apply on the bottom. And then we're coming back up to our widgets. Right now I see the widget name, listings, 2 of 6. So now I'm clicking the next button to go to that next widget. And not all the widgets do you have to do a whole lot. Like this one, for example, this is the lead capture form. All you can do is update the header. There's not a way to update the information it's capturing at this time, but you could update, let's say, let's entice them with a free showing. Contact for a free or a private showing rather. So whatever you would like this to say, it's a great place to entice them to put in their lead information. Like what would they get if they drop their lead information here? Would they get a private showing, a free CMA, Will you send them a buyer guide or seller guide in return? What would they get if they filled out this information? That might be a good idea of what to include there. And click save and apply. And what's great is every time you click save and apply, it automatically updates. So if you realize you don't like what you have written, no worries, you can just update it, click save and apply again, it'll update in real time. All right, so if that was the last widget that you add to your landing page, great. You can see how easy, once you have some practice, it is to create these listing landing pages. So if you'd like to watch on my screen, I'm going to show you how you can update the rest of the widgets I added. So top right here, again, I'm clicking that next arrow. Right, I'm on widget 3 of 6, going to the next arrow to get to that market snap. Again, this market snap will show information about the neighborhood that the listing is in. So I like to include that a lot of times so that they can see that information about the actual neighborhood itself. So first thing I need to do is actually update the postal code. So personally, I leave the header text blank because it'll update for me with this cool dual coloring. So I recommend leaving the header blank and just changing the postal code to wherever that listing is. Once you change the postal code, it'll then update the neighborhoods and the drop down below that to show every neighborhood in that postal code. So I haven't seen that these are alphabetized or anything, so you'll have to just kind of scroll down to locate the neighborhood, click to select it. Right, but that might take some scrolling depending on how many neighborhoods are in your zip code. All right, but again, if you are using the market snap, we're updating the postal code, and that will give you a list of neighborhoods here. And when you click save and apply, that will pull over the neighborhood information from next door to update that on your market snap. So I can see that automatically updated here. It updated the neighborhood name. It kept the cool dual coloring that I like. Right, and you can see all the information came over here. Good question. Can you select more than one neighborhood? It's one neighborhood per market snap widget. In theory, you could add in multiple of these widgets. So if you wanted to add multiple neighborhoods, you could add another new market snap widget, and then you can connect that other widget to the, another respective neighborhood, and it would show the title here for that neighborhood and, all the stats here. All right. So again, make sure you click save and apply. Oh, no problem. Also a good question, Kelly Kane, what if a neighborhood has an incorrect name or can't be found? So these neighborhoods pull over directly from Nextdoor, like the Nextdoor app. So those neighborhood names are, my understanding, collected from like a group movement from the residents of the neighborhood to determine that name. Now, if that's incorrect or you're not seeing the neighborhood there, shoot a message to KWRI via the chat. I'm going to put those directions again in our chat. So that's clicking the question mark on the top right of command, and then chat with support. KWRI, if you report that to KWRI, they can escalate it to Nextdoor support so that that information can be updated. But unfortunately, there's no way for you as the agent to update that in the back end. The stats all pull over from Nextdoor, the neighborhood name pulls from Nextdoor. So it's not customizable, but if that's incorrect, KWRI can help you with that. Yeah, no problem. Of course, let us know if we can help at all with that. All right, so we did this widget. Let's go on next. So I'm clicking the next arrow. We're on the home stretch here. We have the headline, the video widget here. So I like to add the video widget to my listing landing page to add a virtual tour to it, right? So in order to add your virtual tour would, or whatever video you're trying to add, it would need to be added to a place like YouTube or Vimeo, or if you have a photographer that creates your virtual tours, they probably send you a link for the virtual tour, which should work to enter in here as well. You can try that. But just to show you how this works, I'm going to pull up YouTube to go ahead and put in a random video so you guys can see how that would work. Okay, let's try another browser. All right. So I'm just going to go to YouTube and look up a video here. Keller Williams mobile app. Okay, so first of all, if you have not had much experience in uploading videos to YouTube, it's super easy. Your YouTube login is just the same thing as your KW email login. So Gmail bought YouTube. And so you have a YouTube login would just be your KW Gmail login or your personal Gmail login. And once you log in, you can actually just click this button on the very top right to add in any videos. And if that sounds super intimidating, creating videos, first of all, I agree. Second of all, you know, these videos that you're creating are huge for search engine optimization. So if you can start creating videos, even if you're uncomfortable, that really, really helps with search engines because again, Google bought YouTube. They like it if you use YouTube videos. So if you're not sure what kind of content to use in your YouTube videos, things like even taking your cell phone and walking around the home to give a tour of that yourself, or going to a local shopping center to take a video with your phone, again, to display the local shopping and things in your area. There is not a lot of content about specific areas when it comes to like shopping and restaurants. So especially video creation will really help with search engines. It's just kind of a side recommendation. Of course, I know you guys have enough to juggle. So let me show you if you already have the video on YouTube. So if you have that virtual tour created, let me show you how you can add it to our landing page. All right, and if you're looking for a video, Keller Williams in itself provides really awesome videos that you can search YouTube for. All right, but all we need to do is pull up the video that we want to use on YouTube or Vimeo, whatever site you're hosting that on. We'll click on share right under the YouTube video. So share right under the YouTube video to copy this link. To pull the video up on YouTube, click share under the video. So just click copy to copy that link. I'm switching back to my landing page where I'm going to be able to right click in the video URL field to paste that in. And I'm going to name this, let's say virtual tour for 123 Main Street. I can add a description as well and click save and apply. And like magic, that will add your video in. Okay, so again, all we did is we went and grabbed that video URL from YouTube or whatever source you have your video uploaded to, and you can add that into the widget right away. If you guys have any trouble adding those to your landing pages, shoot us an email. We're more than happy to help. All right, guys, on the home stretch here. So to go over to that next widget, my final widget, right, that's just the agent branding on the bottom. So everything looks pretty correct here. I'm going to go ahead and update my phone number. And other than that, I can click save and apply, and I am done. All right, so of course, the more widgets you add, of course, it adds a little time to creating these landing pages, but you can see how easy the widgets are to actually edit, right? They're not super customizable, so it makes your life actually a little easier when it comes to creating those. Now that we've configured all of those widgets, right, we now have the option to publish page. So that's now live on the very top right. And the question I see in the chat is there a way to delete widgets? There is. We would just have to save the landing page and then go back into the landing page to edit it. And I'll show you how in order to delete or move the widgets at this point. So if you could go ahead and click on publish page on the very top right, don't worry, no one will see this unless you share it out. So just by clicking publish page, it'll just make that page live, but still no one will find it unless you send it to them. The publish page is asking if I'm sure, and I'm going to click yes, update. Okay, so we created our landing page. Now let's take a look at what it looks like live and talk about how we can promote that out to get traffic going to this landing page so you can capture leads. So in the consumer section of command, so very bottom icon on the left side menu, we're clicking on landing pages on the top. And you should now, in the very least, have one. Okay, so at the top here, you should see the date created. You'll see the number of leads captured by any of your landing pages. You'll see the URL, which you can go ahead and click on to view the live page, which I will in just a second. You can also easily turn the landing page off. So if you need to switch that off, no problem. Make it inactive just by toggling the switch, turn it off and on. All right, so to click on this page here, you can always pull up what it'll look like live. So this is a live landing page, how it will look to your clients. It looks pretty nifty, in my opinion. So let's talk about how we share this out. So first of all, let's talk about sharing this out on your signs. All right, so I don't know about you, but whenever I'm driving by a listing and I see a flyer box, I do not want another piece of paper in my life. Instead, I would love to be able to just go to a website and be able to view all information about the property and contact the listing agent if I have any questions. That's what we're providing here. All right, so let me tell you, this is optional, okay? But let's talk about domain names, because as you can see, right, the listing landing page URL is this, and that's really long and hard to remember. And if that were on a sign, no one would be able to get there with that name, right? So you can edit the landing page URL slightly. So just a heads up, in the 3 dots on the far right here, there are more options for each of your landing pages. One being to change the URL, which we're talking about right now. However, you can only change the very end of it. So that's still not overly helpful, right? Because even if I change the end, that's still really hard to remember on my sign, okay? So instead, what you can do is actually purchase a domain name, a GoDaddy domain name or any domain name. And this is optional, but you can purchase a domain name for $2.99 for the first year. Right? After that, typically domain names are $12 a year on average. If you're not familiar with what a domain name is, that is actually just purchasing a website address. So if I wanted 123mainstreet.com to forward to this landing page, I would go to GoDaddy.com to go ahead and purchase that domain name, 123mainstreet.com, if that were available. Then I would email us at support@scottloraymarketing.com and let us know that you would like that domain name forwarded to your landing page. So we can forward the domain name for you, right? You just need to buy it. And with that being said, on the notes again, I'll send this out just so you guys have it up again on the notes. On the second page of the notes, and again, I just dropped the notes in the chat. And if you're watching this recorded, it's in the YouTube description. But on the very top of the second page, I did include a link. This gives you a coupon to purchase a domain name for $2.99 for the first year. So just in case you'd like that, again, all you'd have to do is purchase a domain name, and then you can just fill out this short form right here, and that would prompt us to do the rest for you. We would then forward your domain name to your landing page. All right, so again, why this is so helpful and why I so highly recommend this is because then at that point, once we forwarded your domain name to your sign, to your landing page, you can actually add that domain name to your sign. So I don't know about your area, but my area, we have listing signs and a lot of them have riders, which is that little top part of the sign that you can remove and add things like under contract or, just sold. And I've seen what agents do is they'll actually order a rider that says 123mainstreet.com instead of having a flyer box, for example. So when any traffic drives by, they can pull up their phone, go to 123mainstreet.com. It would route to this page right here. So I could see all of the listing information, all the photos, and I can actually contact the listing agent right from here for a private showing or for further information. All right, so that is something optional that you can do. It definitely does help though in capturing leads. And also, your listing client is going to be so impressed, right? You created a personalized website to promote their listing specifically, right? And put it on their signs. They're impressed, right? And really, it's a great way for you to capture leads. Yes, Derek, so great question. Are you saying we need to purchase a domain name for each listing we have? This is absolutely not required, but this is the optimal way to capture leads. So ideally, yes, purchasing a domain name for each listing that you have would allow you to put these landing pages on your signs to drive traffic there. This is not at all required, guys, just a great tip in order to help you drive traffic and generate leads from your listings, right? It's number one thing you can do, generate leads from your listings. But let's talk about if you're not crazy about that route, right? You don't want to deal with domain names. You don't want to get a different domain name for each listing. That's okay. All right. You can promote this landing page out in other ways too, like on your social media. So let me pull up my social media here, like my Facebook business page, and I'll show you how you can quickly promote this landing page on your Facebook page. Yeah, I mean, you can purchase multiple domain names, and I would recommend it if you have multiple listings to have a domain name for each one of the listings. And again, they're pretty nominal. It's around $2.99 a year for the first one, and then around $10 a year for the others. So that should be a pretty nominal charge, but that would then allow you to brand your listing landing pages with that domain. Again, guys, if that sounds really overwhelming, don't worry about it. That's not required. It's just recommended to help you capture leads. Right, but let's talk about if we do not want to get a domain name and I just want to promote out this new landing page. I can go ahead and copy this URL and add that to my Facebook page, add it to my Twitter, my LinkedIn. Right, so what I can do is I can actually come over here and grab the URL. So I'm going to grab it by right-clicking to copy that. So I am, just in case I lost anyone, I'm in the consumer tab of Command. And then under landing pages is where you'll be able to view all of your landing pages you have created. That top one here, if we right-click to copy it, I'm just going to go over on my Facebook page. You can just watch on my screen. But just to show you how that would look, you could create post to put in that landing page URL. And you can write something about it, proudly presenting 123 Main Street, something about the gleaming hardwoods and all the built-ins, you know, whatever you'd like to highlight in here. And then go ahead and click post. And you'll see that it will add the landing page to your Facebook page here. It adds an image of the listing as well, which is really huge. And it will give them an option to go ahead and go directly to that landing page so you can capture any leads from it. So you can share this URL out manually like this as well, to put it on social media, email it out. But Yvonne had a great recommendation in the chat, and purchasing them individual domain names for their listings. It's great also to use for their marketing. So in the chat, thank you, Yvonne, for commenting on that. That's helpful. All right, guys. So now that we have that just listed landing page created, okay, let me show you where the leads will go for those. Okay, let's talk about capturing leads for your landing pages. And I'll probably go until about 2:15 here. So if you can stay on for about 10, 15 more minutes, that would be great. If not, I will be hyperlinking this class recorded on the top of those notes so you can access that within a few hours here, I'd say. All right, leads. So once a lead comes in from your listing landing page, right, you will see the number of leads that are procured from each landing page. However, it's not clickable yet, unfortunately. I'm hoping KWRI will adjust that. But before I show you where those leads are, actually, I forgot who asked this question. Amber asked how you delete any widgets. And to do that, you would have to save the landing page like we did, and then you can go back to edit any of these landing pages by clicking the 3 dots to the right of the landing page to edit it. All right, and then once you are in this editing stage again, you can click on the widget and it'll allow you to click the trash can to delete that. Great question, Amber. So again, if you need to delete a widget or move that around, you would have to save the landing page first, like if you're already configuring the widgets, and then come to the three dots to click to edit that, and that'll let you. All right, leads. So to locate your leads from any landing pages, I'm going to show you how to manually pull those up and also how you are notified of those leads from landing pages. So first of all, if you can join me to the contact section of your command database, it'll be the second icon down on the left-hand side menu. So contact section on the left-hand side. Right, and first, to manually create a filter for all landing page leads. That's what I'm going to show you first. So filters button right here. So in your command database, go ahead and click on filters. I'm going to click on leads only on the top. And then the lead source here, I'm going to change the lead source to its KW landing page. So the lead source should be KW landing page. You can add in multiple. Yes, I believe there's just like a regular landing page one. I've seen that the KW landing page lead source is required to pull these up. But you can select multiple, of course, for the lead source. So again, I'm in the contact section of command. I clicked on filters. I'm clicking leads only, and under the lead source, I'm going to go ahead and do KW landing page. That's the main one I've seen required. There's a second one for landing page that I just throw in usually anyway. But the KW landing page is the required one, and we click apply. And that will show you any leads that have come in from landing pages specifically. So now what I want to do is I'm actually going to create a view of my landing page leads so that I can click one button in the future and be able to see all my leads from landing pages. So to do that, so the smart view option here, that's what that does. So smart views are essentially you can create searches and save them. So you can always view that search with the click of a button in theory. So if you click on Smart View, so that's that drop down to the right of the filters option, we can click Create Smart View from this filtered search to go ahead and name this, let's say, landing page leads. You can set that as a default smart view. However, I usually don't because I want to see all my contacts off default when I come into my command database. However, if you want to only see these first when you come into your command database, that's what checking this would do. And we'll click Save Smart View. All right, so now I can see my smart view is on for landing pages, right? But as you can see, you can continue creating filters, creating searches rather, and saving those so that you can always come in here to click with the click of a button, right? We'll always just come in here and click on the landing pages. Now bring up all leads from your landing pages. Now, how you get notified of these leads is in two ways. You will receive a notification in the bell icon on the very top left. So this is where you'll see if you receive any messages or, just a new client, new lead, it will show up on the bell icon, the top right of command, and also in your Kelly app. So Kelly, and that's K-E-L-L-E. If you go to your App Store or Google Play Store, definitely go ahead and download the Kelly app. It's a blue app, I believe, with a white KW, and then again, that's K-E-L-L-E. And make sure when you're downloading that, it'll ask you if you want to enable push notifications. Make sure to allow that. And what that'll do is it'll notify you instantly on your phone via push notification anytime you get a lead from your landing page, website, mobile app, you name it. Anytime you get a message and so forth. So again, Kelly app will allow those push notifications to come to your phone. All right, guys. So if you have any questions on leads and how to access those, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, let us know. Yeah, the Kelly app is being retired. So it's no longer supported by KWRI. Right now, it's still the main way to view those lead notifications on your phone. So I would still recommend downloading it, but you're right, the Kelly app is being replaced by KWRI. So I would download it for the meantime to log in. And if that's not loading for you, Sasha, try deleting the app completely and reinstalling it. I know it can be a little fickle. Shoot us an email if you have trouble, but again, I know Kelly's a little up and down, but it is the best resource to get your leads push notifications on your phone. More to come on that though. KWRI is launching even further tools to replace that. All right, guys, I know this was a lot of information. Please let me know how we can help you through all of this, help you with your landing pages. We're more than happy to help. I'm going to put my email and name in the chat. If you want to shoot an email to me directly, I'd be more than happy to take a look at your account or your landing page that you created today. You can just put attention Leah in the subject line. That's Leah, and that will come directly to me. Happy to take a look at any landing pages that you guys have, any issues you're running into in command. Shoot us an email. We're more than happy to help. All right, guys, I am going to drop the notes one more time in the chat. And other than that, if you need anything else, feel free to shoot us an email. We're here for you. And thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate your kind words. Yeah, actually, all of our training classes that we have just completed, so our newest ones, I'm gonna put this in the chat, or in the chat, our YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/Scott Leroy Marketing, that'll have all of our most recent training videos. This is me. My name is Leah. So you'll see my headshot on the ones that I taught here, but this will show you all of our training classes in general to check out. And I'm going to stop the recording here. If you have any additional questions, shoot them in the chat and I'll stick around to answer those.